I climbed a diamond as a Vanguard main with 70% of those games in solo queue and the other 30% with a duo. Here are some tips that helped me climb. Tip number one was communication. As a tank, a lot of entry into points or moving a convoy require you to go first. So serving as a sort of in-game leader kind of makes sense as a tank. Because even if no one responds to you and talks back, I guarantee you they can hear and you can use that to make plays. It's unfortunate that the way competitive gaming and things like that are now, where people are hesitant to use mics, kind of restricts from making good plays and working as a team, but they can hear you because I've noticed people heard me even if they don't respond by focusing on the supports when I see them using resources on the tank. And killing the supports is the best way to actually win these matches, win these fights, because you'll never kill the tank without having to take care of the support because healing is so crucial. I can't count how many times my girlfriend walked in the room, heard me screaming in the mic, wondering if anyone was talking to me and responding back. And I'm like, no, but I know they're listening to me because they stopped shooting at the Hulk and started shooting at the Mantis. Tip number two, don't take unnecessary damage. This is for two reasons. First reason being is one, your healers would have to use a decent amount of their abilities to refill your large health pool, which can take away from DPS who might be diving or in active trades. The second and most important reason why you don't want to take unnecessary damage is feeding the enemy team ult charge for zero reason. Damage builds ult charges, and tanks just soak up damage, so it's an easy way for the enemy DPS to just continue to rack up their ult. So sitting out in the open, taking unnecessary damage does your team a disservice more so than you think, builds up your own stance of how much damage tanked or playing your role of taking up all the attention. You know, I remember this time that I faced a Punisher who got his ult 6 times before the first round was even over. I couldn't believe how many times this Punisher ulted, and I was just dumbfounded. For a second I thought he was cheating. For a second I thought he was cheating. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just like, he's ulting again. But then when I watch the VOD and I see how much time I just took unnecessary damage, just stood out in the open, why he was able to rack up such a quick ult charge. Tip number three, peel for your supports, please. And the supports, they're gonna love you for this. In my opinion, or at least how I play, I think each role has clear, distinct jobs. DPS kills supports and other DPS. Supports keep tanks alive, and tanks make space and peel for the supports. Peeling for the supports is super crucial just based off how important health is in this game. The health packs are limited, there's no passive healing, so you need to keep your healers alive if you're going to take points, if you're going to win fights, if you're going to win matches. Now, peeling for your supports requires you to be aware as possible of your supports and the enemy DPS. If you tunnel vision on the opponent in front of you, if on the objective in front of you, you miss what's going on behind you. I personally, if I'm playing Doctor Strange, for example, I like to trade blows and pan my camera to check positioning. And you could do that easily with your shield, etc. If you're someone like Thor or Hulk, you could jump in and out of fights because of your dash, Venom, same thing. So just doing that to see where my supports are, see where DPS or enemies are, is how I keep an eye on them. Just trading blows, not focusing too much on one thing, but trying to, as much as possible, see where everything is. You have to find the balance of pushing forward and drawing aggro while protecting your back line better than your opponent, right? Because you don't have to be perfect. You just need to be better than the opposing tanks to win a match.